Good evening and welcome to a nice drop of port. Well, it turns out you can beat Wellington on a good day. Auckland Football Club went down to the capital and took the W back to Auckland. 3 games, 3 wins. I understand we have set a new record. The first 3 games in a maiden A-League season without conceding a goal. Top of the league. It's all going swimmingly. We're already checking our diaries about the grand final. I'm trying to figure out where it might be. I don't think they announced it, but we'll talk about that. Welcome to the guests again. We've got Blair, a port icon, becoming a national icon, I would say.
National hero.
Given the coverage Blair's got, like we're wondering whether he's going to be getting an advertising deal or something pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, I was playing a little drinking game on my own. Every time I saw Blair, I had to drink, and I was quite tipsy by the end of the game. I have to say, I regretted it. And old Robbie's back there as well. Wow, Jake Brimmer gets those 2 goals, and ringing in my ears was Robbie's prediction. He said Jake Brimmer will win us football matches this season, and there he was, winning us football matches. Yeah, and
it doesn't
Matt's
happen
here
often
as well.
that my stuff comes true, I'll tell you that.
Well, I believe anything you say now, Robbie. Matt's here as well, and it's kind of like, it's like working from home, waiting for the courier driver to arrive with bated breath, as we wait for Matt's ratings and his moments. We're just hanging in there, Matt, for sure.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. Awesome to see you. And what another. Could we have had a better start? Like 3 wins, 3 games, smashing it. It's easy to say, league business, isn't it?
3 clean sheets as well. Jeez.
3 clean sheets. I want to go to Blair first, because Blair, as we said right at the top of this, Blair is everywhere. Like I'm sitting. This is the first game I've sat and watched at home, and I'm from the build up. He's in the build up. There's cameras, in the bars, and Blair's there. He's right again. Do you go to these games and make sure you sit right in the middle of the shot, Blair? Are you like thinking this through or something?
Yeah.
Well, I think because I'm wearing the hat, they just sort of gravitate towards me. Like, oh, look, he's wearing a nice hat.
You tell us before the show. How many interviews have you done this weekend?
I did a Radio NZ interview on Friday, and then a Sky Sport one on Saturday at the Shepherd's Arms before the game.
Just remember where you started, mate. Remember your roots.
Mate. Don't worry, this is my home.
That's right. Don't you go off to those bigger podcasts. What was it like? So you there all? Well, we know what you did. We saw you all day, but like, what was it like being in there, down in the capital?
It was brilliant. I flew in the morning of, jumped in an Uber, went to the hotel, dropped my stuff off, jumped in an Uber, went to the pub. There was about 30 minutes between the plane and the pub. And then got in there, got to the bar, Shepherd's Arms, and got into it. Drinking, chanting, setting off flares, all the good stuff.
Was it well received by the locals? Because they wouldn't be used to this type of thing.
Yeah,
it wasn't fun down in Wellington.
The Shepherd's Arms is pretty tucked away, so it's sort of we weren't really stepping on too many toes. You'd see the traffic going past, going, "Oh, what's that?" and whatnot. And I remember there was one bloke across the street who was sitting in the window, and we gave him, "Give us a wave, give us a wave," and yeah. And when we started the march, we went round the corner between the pubs and that, and then we start coming up the hill, and all we see are all these old people on one of those heritage walks. There was about a dozen of them, and they were all just like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" And we sort of go on past, and they're like taking pictures and all that kind of thing, and it was good fun.
And then you guys, we could all hear you on the TV, and I mean, it's kind of a smallish area, but like you're making a lot of noise. What was the atmosphere like inside the cake tin?
Library, mate. It was terrible. The Knicks fans were just dead silent all game. It was just. Eventually they sort of got going and copied one of our chants, and Phoenix.
Oh no!
But it is what it is.
So they're giving it the large before the game, like going on about it, like they're going to stand toe to toe with us, and they're being outsung by 500 of you?
Yeah. I think it was ended up being 600.
600.
I believe in the away base. So yeah, solid turnout.
And was it all the way through the game, songs, chanting?
We did our best with what we had. So there was a few sort of quiet spots, but that was sort of the nature of the game. It was, very sort of combative in the middle, and sort of a lot was going on, but not much was going on as well. So yeah.
It was one of those kind of games, wasn't it? Like, I mean, it was actually quite a nice experience for me to watch it at home. Because I could actually follow the game. I do find when I'm at the game, I don't know. I think I'm a bit ADHD or something. I can't focus on things. There's too much going on. It's like it's just too much going on for me. So I'm like, it was nice to watch it at home, and had the girls round, and we sat and had a Derby Day dinner and enjoyed the game. And then obviously it was kind of like I wouldn't call it a scrappy game, would you? I'd call it a kind of a pensive game. How would we describe this game?
Congested is probably what I'd use, but I think it's just sort of the nature of both teams, sort of both play sort of narrow with the fullbacks being wide, and so you end up with 16 players sort of just right in the middle. So, lots of just sort of winning and losing of the ball.
It's very classic arm wrestling.
If I'm not mistaken, the position was 50-50, which pretty much sums it up.
And so Blair's Adventures, you guys were all in there, the goals went in. What was that like when the goals went in the end?
Oh, I think the port had sort of like, yeah, cool, 0-0. It's sort of like the game had slowed down a lot, sort of, it almost felt like both teams were sort of going through the motions. And then Oluwayemi gave up that pass, and it was just, like, it was supposed to be like, oh, did he just do that? It was still like, next thing I know, I got a guy on top of me,
Yeah, we saw. We saw the lot.
Yeah. And after that, it was just cheering, and then all the Phoenix fans started making their way out, and
was it the full cheerio?
Yeah. You've seen the port. Now fuck off home. And then I think we pulled out the fire drill 1, 2. Yeah, is there a fire drill? Is there a fire drill? Because they started coming out in leaving after the first goal, but then they started flying out after the second.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it would not have gone down well. And then obviously you guys had a bit of a couple of sherbets in town, did you? How did that go down?
Yeah, we went down the road and off to the Thistle Inn, just around the corner there from the stadium, and sort of hung out there till I was there till 9ish and 9:30ish, and then sort of we all went our separate ways. A few boys went deeper into town after having a big Friday, and we're continuing the party, and
nice. Sounds all good natured. There was none of the the predictions before and all this stuff that was going to be a bit of trouble. Like, obviously nothing like that at all.
Yeah, we did a good job of keeping all that stuff under wraps, and not getting anything leaked to the press. And
all right,
no phones.
Exactly.
So it may have happened, but this wasn't recorded.
Maybe.
That's good. I mean, I'm sure it was all just boisterous fun.
It was just a bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like I say, it was great to see the game, and watching 2 goals right at the end. Fantastic. What did you make of let's switch to Robbie now. Like, you've had a little bit of a look at what went on, and obviously to get down to a granular level, that first Jake Brimmer goal, like, take it away. I mean, like, it came about through a Wellington mistake, of course, and something that we've talked about on the show already.
Yeah, and look, I will preface this by saying I'm not a coach, so please take what I say with a grain of salt. But this whole playing out from the back thing that we've talked about, I'm not a fan personally. I understand why teams do it. For me, it's about getting the right balance and just picking the right time to do it. Because you kind of missed it a little bit on the coverage live. If you do happen to see a wide angle of how they were set up, Auckland's press was right there. Like, they were literally positioned. They couldn't be positioned any closer without it being illegal. So even just looking at that, 0-0, 80 late in the 80th something minute, just go long. You don't need to take it into jeopardize yourself like they did.
Mm.
But the fact that they tried it, okay, technically, so it starts with the keeper. He needed to pass that to Isaac Hughes's left foot to begin with, so that he could open out and play to his left back, who was open. There was a mistake on Hughes's part as well, that he received it with his right foot, so he couldn't open himself out, and he played it straight back to Oluwayemi. And that's where the problem kind of compounded. On the wide shot, you then see Oluwayemi with the ball at his feet. He had two players open to his right that he could have passed, yet he tries to thread the needle through the middle, and that's where Jake Brimmer, who, to his credit, kind of read the situation as well, was able to kind of shift over, and the ball came straight to him, and it was a good finish, So if you are gonna play it from the back, pick your moments. 1, 2. There's a lot of things, very small technical things that need to go right.
Yeah,
And
there's so many things can go wrong, and you're in such a dangerous
One
area.
thing I will say is
Exactly.
I mentioned this last week was that, and it did come to happen in the game, was when they did start to struggle against our press and they were hoofing it forwards, they just couldn't win the ball back because you got 2 5'7" strikers up against a 6 foot and a 6'4" centre back,
Yeah.
And like every time they did go long, we'd win it back, and it just created the cycle of Auckland getting forward, losing the ball, wanting to play up from the back, failed to hoof it up, and that was sort of the last sort of 15, 20 minutes. So I can kind of understand Wellington not wanting to go long because it could have ended the same way, But
I think it's just the game situation of it being the 88th minute, whatever it is.
Yeah,
You're that close to the end
to do
anyway.
it.
I just personally don't think it's the right time. And then, but if you are going to do it, because the Wellington Phoenix actually have done it to some successful degree previously, so they technically can do it. But how they set up and how it actually has to unfold, the pieces have to be exactly right. Like even from the ball placement to where your outlets are placed. Like if Isaac Hughes takes 2 steps back, if he's standing on the byline, he can receive that open and play out. Like if the ball comes in, if he's standing like this and the goalkeeper's out here to his right, he can receive it and open out. But the fact that he was literally in line on the 6-yard line with the pass meant he was facing the keeper that way. So he can only play it back that way. So minute things, but it's you got to get it absolutely right if you're going to do it right. But look, and to Chippy's credit, he said he's not going to change, and I don't blame him because, like I said, Phoenix can technically do it. They're good enough. They've got the good enough players to execute this. But you got to get the small things right and just pick your moments, basically.
So it wasn't just tired legs; it was more like the positioning was slightly wrong.
Well,
it could have been a tired mind too.
Tired mindset as well.
Yeah, because both played a full 90, so
yeah. But anyway, that's my little coaching corner.
No, I appreciate that, Robert. Yeah, I mean, look, I grew up in an era where watching football and they just play it long. You'd never be playing football across the goals anywhere in football.
And I will say, just to further back up my point as well, there is one other. I just remembered it. There is one other occasion. I think it was the 77th minute where Oluwayemi plays it out to Scott Wharton, and you can see technically from that he takes it on his outside foot and can play it straight out. That's actually when they created the chance that was it Ishige that hit it? No, it created one. It led to a chance, but if you find that example, that's the template. That's exactly how you do it, and it starts with how the pass is given, how it's received, and then they kind of just went bang, 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 and it led to a chance. So. It's about execution.
Yeah, we were talking before the show started, and Blair was saying that Paulson was mixing it up a bit more. Like if it wasn't on, Auckland are not taking the risk and getting it forward. But maybe we've got the guys who are more likely to sort of win the 50-50s up there. Maybe that's why we're happier to play it a bit long sometimes. But yeah, all right. Thanks, Robbie. Yeah,
pleasure.
It's very, very informative. All right, well, should we move on to Matt and Matt's moments, because he's always got some ratings for us. What did you make of the game, Matt? Like you've watched all three from the the director's box at home there in Mount Albert, and like, you know,
From an
what do you reckon?
elevated position.
What do you reckon to the game this one?
Yeah.
Comparison with the others.
I'm just thinking, are these Auckland games almost taking up a very similar kind of pattern? Really, I know they got that goal in the first half in the first game, but that second and third game, they're both quite. There's almost is there a theme starting to appear where they keep things extremely tight, don't really give a lot in the first half. I don't remember them creating a hell of a lot in that game against Wellington, and then the second half. I'm going to get to it in a moment when it comes to my ratings, and maybe I should get to it now. But I think the biggest person, my ratings will probably come along at the moment. But I think a lot of it has got to go down to Steve Corica and the decision that he made with the substitutions that he made, because I think a lot of people would have probably been quite happy, maybe from an Auckland point of view, with a 0-0 draw, going up to their place and taking a 0-0 and showing that you can, because they finished second in the league last year. So they've got up to their place, third game of the season, and they've mixed it. Didn't look out of place. So yeah, I think a big shout out to Steve really for what he did. Taking off the players, because I know Brimmer got the goals, but Toomey looked really good when he came off.
He did, It was lovely to have different subs coming on and making an impact.
Yeah, he was. I thought he made a real difference. Yeah, he was good, wasn't he? So. But yeah, I mean, my ratings, blimey, must almost be a copy and paste job from the.
They were slightly. Well, I keep the same names and I changed the numbers from last week's, but they were slightly. They were higher. They were overall higher.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've got to get. I mean, hey, we're going to get onto Brimmer. Why not? I mean, he's on a bit of a redemption arc for me, isn't he? Because I thought he was actually quite boring that first game, but he's come off the bench and stuck two in the net. I mean. I think even my first episode, I said that I don't normally give ratings to people if they've only come on from 15 minutes down or 10 minutes down. But when you come off the bench and bang two in the net and win the game 2-0 away with your first derby, then De Vries is the one that always stands out, though. I mean, he really is starting to. I mean, with my football team, we made 17 new additions, and even within the first 4 or 5 games, you could really see the players that we're going to look at maybe being players of the season. Who are going to be, if they continue the way they're going, if they can stay fit for the whole season, they're going to be up there. And I think De Vries is certainly looking like that player. So, but Pawson, basically 7 across the board, isn't it? I think, it's like I mentioned about how the game goes. Verstrati, it was in Verstrata. He just mixes things up, isn't he? He's the ultimate ball winner, isn't he? And as soon as he wins the ball, he looks for a teammate. I like Gillian. I've only given him a 6.5. Probably quite, I was almost going to give him a 6, but I quite like Gillian. We're going to get onto him later, but I still think he's a really good player. I think there's a really good player in there. May did the job. I thought Harrison was probably the better of the 3, kind of moving forward. And then Toomey and Brimmer were fantastic when they came on, particularly Brimmer.
It seems like it's so bizarre. It seems like a really settled team.
It does,
these guys feel like I feel like they look like they've been playing with each other for a while, and it's incredible to think they were just all thrown together 3 months ago.
Yeah, there's a pattern emerging. Yeah, really early days. There's patterns emerging for sure.
Very few changes from this team each week. Maybe one change.
Yeah,
and the fact that Bimby can still make these changes on whenever, and nothing really changes dramatically. Like it seems to be quite smooth. Whoever comes on during games.
Yeah. But he's played the same 11 3 times in a row now, hasn't he? Which again,
no, Brimmer started the first.
Brimmer started the first one. That's right. Yeah, but apart from that, I mean,
other than that,
it was unchanged this week from last week. I think. Yeah, it was unchanged.
It's the 3 at the front that have kind of got a bit of fluidity, haven't they? But really, that 7 seem to be set in stone, don't they? Or the 6, 5, no 7,
They just seem really solid. I mean, we've beaten 2 of the better teams in the league. Like Sydney, as we know, are one of the favourites, and the Phoenix. They had a great season last year. But it's not exciting apart from the goals. The style of play is not exciting at the moment. And I watch it. I'm not too worried because we're winning and it's fantastic to win. But it's real solid.
They're well coached, aren't they? Yeah. He's definitely coached them in a way. He's definitely set them up in a way that, I mean, have they gone 1-0 down yet? I don't think they have they?
We
They
don't
haven't
concede.
conceded
We
a
haven't
goal.
even conceded.
That's what I mean.
Oh, of course,
We're
yeah,
so
that's
solid.
right. Of course,
We don't
Can't go
look
1-0 down if you
conceding.
don't concede, mate.
no,
We
no,
don't,
that's
we
right.
don't even
So,
look like conceding a
yeah.
goal.
So I guess the thing will be when they go 1-0 down. If they go 1-0 down in, say, the 65, 70th minute or something like that, that's going to be interesting. How is he going to change? He's very good at keeping things solid. And, the last two games have been, 88, 90 plus minute winners or something. What's he going to
You
look
could
like?
kind of say that Sydney was sort of a bit of a run at that. They sort of like they did get away with it. The goal was overturned, but
We were
they
down
still
for about
did
5
sort of
minutes,
pull
eh?
that win out of the fire there.
Yeah, it's quite late though,
point.
wasn't it? And it was still a 0-0. If they walked away with a 0-0 in that game, it probably would have been seen as a success. They dodged the bullet with the VAR and
That's right.
0-0. But yeah, that's all I've got. I mean, hey, we're picking holes, aren't we? We're trying to find. Yeah, we're looking. We're trying
It's
to find
bizarre we're even talking like this. We're we're top of the league, three games.
We're winning, but we're not winning.
Well,
with
it's not
flair.
that exciting. Yeah,
we're not winning every game 5-0.
Well, I'm looking at the score from the Western Sydney game, 3-4. It's like we don't look like being involved in a game like that at the moment. I hate to say.
Do you want to be though? Like the fact that it's that classic kind of Mourinho Chelsea vibe. Would you rather just win, or would you rather go down 5-4?
I'm a Spurs fan. Yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Wow,
I don't know about the
That's
first.
his only
you were
option.
talking about
No, the Spurs option is going ahead and then losing late.
Unless it's we're
in a good run
home against Man City.
Yeah,
it's 1-0 wins.
Yeah, you beat the Villa. Shout out for beating the Villa.
Yeah,
we're in a good run. But I'm sure these games will come though. Then we'll find ourselves, goal or two down, and then maybe we'll see what we'll make.
Will be an interesting one because they've got a strong attack this season. It seems they're sort of gelled quite well. So it'll be interesting to see how we go against them.
That's the thing about this league. That on any given day, a team like, for example, Perth or Brisbane, who are the bottom two sides, can suddenly turn it on and score 3 or 4 goals. It's the beauty of this league. And look, to be fair, this is very much a Corica kind of trait. Be solid and kind of dominate through possession. The game panned out kind of how I thought it would. Auckland would dominate. The Phoenix would be happy to kind of absorb, head on the counter. I actually think the Phoenix had the better opportunities, but just didn't score. Whereas Auckland didn't really create as many. There were 1 or 2 clear-cut opportunities and a couple of good saves from Oluwayemi. But if you look at the Wellington's chances that they created, I thought that they were gilt-edged. Like they probably even should have. They should have
done better.
They should have done better.
Yeah,
did Paulson make any important saves? Was there one?
I think he should have scored. Barbarossa should have scored in like the.
Yeah, I know there was
straight down his throat.
Yeah, he smashed it straight to him, but he should have scored. He should have done a lot better. But apart from that,
he should get a header bounced over.
Paulson didn't get a chance. Didn't get a finger to that, but that was the best chance of the game. That should have been buried, really.
Second best.
Well,
actually, probably even third best because like both Brimmer goals are sort of served up on a plate.
I that just reminded me as well. Like I saw, because I'm lucky enough to get like the archive of camera angles here, and I saw there was the camera focused on the port for that first goal. Everyone was chanting, and then they stopped. It was so good. It was the funniest thing.
Like I said before, I think we were just got a bit cagey. It's like, this is going to be 0-0. Like,
wait, hang on.
Hell yeah, we're 1-0 up in the derby.
It was great to see Jake Brimmer score though, and see a little bit of what he's got. And I watched a little bit of the after match interviews and things, and he's got a great narrative as well. He was obviously a great player a season or two ago. He's left his family to come over to New Zealand for this kind of new project. And he
Fallen Star.
They did the celebration because I believe one of his children's deaf.
Yes.
And so that, I mean, when I read that, I was like, and then you listen to this sort of like Aussie guy, and you're like, this guy's eminently likable, and I think he's going to be a big fan favorite if he's winning games like that. And over here
look,
doing it for us.
The fact that he's a vice captain as well, like he's pretty highly regarded by.
I can see
Steve
why.
Clarke in the club.
Yeah, after this game, I can see why.
Mm.
You know, you'd want him in your squad. I mean, you weren't a big fan, Matt, at the start, eh, Brimmer? I mean, maybe you didn't see enough of him.
He didn't have a very good game, did he? But it sounded like
first
when
game,
that first game, I think in the interview at the end of it, he mentioned that I think was he down with something? I think he had an illness.
No, he was ill for the second game apparently.
Oh, was it the second game? Well, he should have said the first because the first he was bloody awful. But yeah, you know, it's a redemption arc. That's what we're all about, isn't it? So maybe he just needed a bit of a maybe he just watched this. He got a kick up the arse. So it's what he needed. You know, some guys you need to bring in and put an arm around and say, you know, it's coming. And some you just need to give a bit of a kick up the arse, and he's had that, and he's ready to go.
Yeah. And they were the super subs. Like Toomey sets the second goal up. You know, and that was a you know, penetrative run.
I loved the little chip he gave Oluwayemi as well on the way through.
Yeah. That's
If
right.
anyone saw that in the coverage,
Yeah. It was a nice little move, hey.
have that, son.
Have some of that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
chat, we've just got a Gurgus hashtag release the port cut. So you have to get onto that, Robbie.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. It's all on the cutting room floor in there somewhere.
Yeah, use it for a socials thing, mate. Like post stuff on socials.
Yeah.
I can see why the cameras go to you though, Blair. You know, you've got the hat on and you just you look like a little sailor, you know, like
because I had like a row behind me of like 6 or 7 that had hats as well.
Yeah, they didn't get what you got though. They didn't get your sort of coverage. Trust me.
There's only one big red.
Yeah. Well, speaking of New Zealand legends, you know, obviously Paddy Gower, you know, newsman turned Wellington Phoenix kind of like, you know, shouter. He's come out and said, look, hey guys, I hand it to you. Auckland came down and did well, and you know, but I was still going to give you some hell. I'm always going to give Aucklanders hell. And there was some chants going on about old Paddy on the terraces. Blair, don't repeat them. I think they're a little bit blue.
We'll imagine. We could imagine what he said.
Yeah, giving him some stick. Yeah. And so I did contact Paddy and ask him to come on the show this week. And he said he was really busy, and I can see he's busy. He's got a tour going on, and he's like, you know, working for stuff now. But he did say he promises he will come on this show in the week leading up to the next derby. So it'll be really exciting to have Paddy Gower on and give him a bit of stick. Give him a bit of stick. And I mean, anyone that's got a love of football is good enough for me, you know. So we'll look forward to getting old Paddy Gower on Nice Drop of Ports. That'll be exciting. So that game's like 3 games away. So we've got another couple of games.
2.
2.
Yeah.
Well, by this week.
By this week, we know we're off this week.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit of that. That's how many buys do you get in the season? Then is this like a 2 or 3?
I think it's like 3, isn't it?
It's at least 2. I think. Yeah,
be at least 2 or 3. Yeah.
It's got to be 2. Yeah.
And so this is kind of again a bit of an A-League thing, you know. I mean, Robbie, what happens to these teams when they get buys? Is there a bit of a pattern of they're a little bit rusty because they haven't played for 2 games and everyone else has had a game, or is there not much you don't notice really?
Oh, it's been a few seasons since the buy was a thing. I'm just trying to think how it's panned out so far this season. I think Brisbane round 2 bye, they lost last weekend, but they really should have drawn. Newcastle this week coming off the bye, and they had a great win leading into the round 3 bye. So we'll kind of see how it pans out this weekend. From memory, I think the bye kind of it tends to be a handbrake.
Yeah,
especially
can't help unless you've got loads of injuries and you've got to get them back. You know,
they are exactly. If it's like a team that's busted and just need an extra week's rest, then that comes at a good time. Or it can be a run of great results, and then all of a sudden you get an extra week off, which kind of kills momentum a little bit. So it swings and roundabouts. It'll all kind of even itself out really come season end. So just got to deal with it.
Yeah,
Auckland FC are playing a friendly on November 17th as well. So
I see that. So
during
they'll
the
keep fit.
international break
Keep
there,
fit.
so.
Who they're playing is
Yeah.
just a local team or something.
Just one of the local teams, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they come out the break, and then they're away to MacArthur on the 24th. So yeah, it's a decent gap.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting, being the first overseas trip, and not having a decent amount of home fan or decent amount of Auckland support behind them. That's probably going to be their biggest test. And I do actually need to jump in and just spinning back. They've actually equaled the record for wins to start a lifetime, basically. So Gold Coast won their first 3 and then lost their 4th game. Auckland obviously 3 from 3, so can break or can make history next time.
Tied, but we can make because I think I said in one of the other shows that was going to be history, but it was tying because Gold Coast did it. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, gee,
very good.
I mean, it is just a fantastic start. Like, I mean, it's again. I asked this last time. I mean, what's the view over in Australia of like the football people over there? They're sitting up and taking notice of Auckland now, or
absolutely. Like and I said it back into last week. Like, everyone on this side of the ditch is talking about New Zealand football, talking about Auckland, and talking in glowing terms. Like there's how do I put it? It's the club has just energized the league and kind of revitalized, refreshed. It's just because it's something new. It's like a shiny new toy. So look, and I'm pretty convinced this will plateau at some point. It can't. I mean, it would be awesome. It would be awesome to do a Leicester City and just kind of like, there was points where like, this has got to end surely for Leicester.
That's where I really come into my own when it starts to plateau. That's when I'll really start to shine. Really
there we go.
That's when it'll come out.
Yeah. So do I. Like you just think over the course of 27 rounds, it's gonna flatten out at some stage, and it's just how they kind of bounce back to that. But a lot of experts here are very impressed with what they're seeing, impressed with a lot of the new talent that they're seeing for the first time, like a Liam Gillian. So it makes a nice change. Having been in this country for 12 years, it's very refreshing to see and hear people talking positively about New Zealand.
Yeah, and this New Zealand derby would have raised the level.
Oh yeah.
Interest. Yeah.
I think what's quite good about the team as well, I should have probably mentioned, is that they've won games late 2 times in a row, which I think is really, really, there's a lot of teams out there that always seem to lose. I mean, I should know, being who I support. But we went through the season where we actually looked really competitive, but we used to concede late. We conceded late so many times. It's as if we switched off, or the fitness was gone, or there's something. But yeah, for a team to be scoring that late 2 times, I think that's a bloody good sign. Really good sign.
They got staying power. They can stay the games. Yeah, and they look solid throughout. That's what I mean. Defensively, we don't look like conceding goals really at the moment.
No.
I mean, I don't know if someone's going to tear us apart, but
every second half has been better than the first. I think the first half is always a little bit to and fro, but Auckland, they just get better and better. As long as the second half, I wonder if they're just, I don't know. The data would be fascinating, because the managers are privy to data that we just don't see. The kilometers travelled and the fitness, and I just wonder if he's just got these guys like super fit. He's just got them, because Sakai and De Vries just runs up and down that left-hand side all day. I know it's incredible, and Sakai does as well. And Hall is as quick as he is at the end as he is when he starts. So. I wonder if they're just fitter than most teams. I wonder if that's the way they've gone as well.
Yeah. And credit's got to go to Corica and the team that put this team together as well. It's a remarkable story. I mean, like you say, we did Leicester and went on and won the thing, or did really well. Like it's almost better than Leicester because like this is a brand new team. Like what history it would make. So I guess we just got
awesome.
Just to see how we go. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about tonight is a little bit of a rant of mine, and these are my own opinions and of nobody else's. And it's been brewing. It's been simmering.
Disclaimer.
It's been simmering and brewing. and it boiled over while watching the game from home, because every time there was a break, the old McDonald's ad just flashes up, change of shop McDonald's, and of course it's on the shirt sleeve, it's on the boardings, it's everywhere. And I think what it is for me is, look, we don't have to. I'm not going to bore you about obesity rates, but we are the third highest in the OECD. There's a major issue going on here in New Zealand with junk food, and it's everywhere. And I kind of I sat there watching it, and I thought, you know what, I remember being a kid, and you'd have cigarette ads at the sport, and there would be alcohol ads at the sport. All the teams in the 80s and 90s in England, they have Coles, more booze on the front, and we seem to have moved past that, because it's accepted that if you get into the minds of kids young with advertising, they're going to take up boozing and smoking and whatever. But I kind of feel like junk food's at that level, but it's like no one's talking about it. And it's like, for me, and it's also, and I'm going to disclaimer this by saying I know that New Zealand sport, especially at a grassroots level, actually relies on McDonald's to get a lot of sports, to fund a lot of sports teams. And I've been down to my kids went to the local club here, and all the balls have got Maccas on. And it's kind of like, I wonder whether there's a different way, and I know they need the money, but, I kind of feel in 10 years' time, someone might play this tape back and go, old Dale was right there, he was right again, Any thoughts on this across the board? I mean, I know you guys probably like McDonald's, eating McDonald's, but put that aside,
I do think I agree with you on that. They are quite reliant on that, Macca's money and whatnot, and providing grassroots funding, and hopefully with the how World Cup qualifications changed, and I think we get like 9 million or something just from qualifying for the group stages. Hopefully we can start moving away from that kind of thing and whatnot. And
is it just that we can't turn the money down? There's no one else offering that sort of sponsorship deal?
New Zealand football isn't really sort of the richest of the confederations, But hopefully that'll change with if the Club World Cup becomes a success, because I think the plan is like a 50-50 split of that cash. So
I feel like it's just that my gravitas with my kids is ruined, because I'm like, nah, we don't want to eat McDonald's, and then boom, it's all over the
There
TV,
it is.
and I've been telling them, we're this football team. What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, it's a hard one.
You silly a bit, Matt, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is a tough one.
As much as you used to.
No, well,
vegetarian now, eh?
Vegetarian, yeah, exactly. I understand that. I can see why the sponsorship and the money. I just when you're watching the game, it just seems really, really intense. It really is. I think there's a bit where
from home it seems more intense.
There's a bit in the game where the screen gets smaller, so they can take. They can take the border. They can take the bottom, and
they had the border of the screen,
and the yellow bobs along, and then the McDonald's comes along.
That was the final straw. I was like, enough. I'm like, just stop it. I'm not going to go to Macca's and buy lunch. I'm not doing it.
They do that
I've got my salad.
Yeah, I've got my salad. They do that in the NFL. They do that in the American. It's almost like an American thing. They kind of zip down and then go back in.
Well, those American sports are pretty much built around, adverts almost.
Advertising.
It's just that
they have
with
break
American
in the NFL and then ad, and
with American football though, there's gaps. There's bits where there's nothing happening.
There's stoppages.
So but with football, there's a bit where the football never stops. There's it kind of does, but it's a lot more free flowing. And the bit where the ball goes off into the corner and there's going to be a tackle, and the screen just went like that.
I know.
I mean, we've all got pretty big screens now, but if you haven't got a decent sized screen, you'd find it hard pressed to be able to say what the bloody hell was going on. So
what's the I mean, you don't need to say too much probably about this, but I know Australian sports, the old KFC are quite in the big bash and whatnot. Is there ever talk about simmering this stuff down a little bit in fast food advertising?
Specifically with fast food
with sport, junk
with
food
sport
advertising in sport.
Yeah. Look, it's a tricky one, just because it's the advertising money that it's hard to turn down, and it's about making it as seamless as possible into a coverage. And I think because the nature of our game, it's so free flowing, and there are no natural stoppages. We can't take ad breaks in game anyway. So it's finding that balance. And look, they're called squeeze backs. You squeeze back the vision, and you see, around the outside the sponsoring. I think that's the sacrifice. Unfortunately, that needs to be made. Look, because money's going to be harder and harder to come by year on year. It's just the way it is at the moment. So, we're all traditionalists, and I don't like it either. But it's kind of a necessity just to keep everything's afloat.
It's actually stopped me buying the shirt, I have to say, because the Macca's logo's on the thing, and I someone was running on Reddit and had exactly the same views as me in the week, and I was like, well, I'm going to say something on the podcast because I'm not the only person, and I might buy one of the shirts without the Macca's on it. But yeah, look, I think we can all agree we'd sort of rather not have it, but it's a necessary evil. The other thing that I pointed, I actually messaged you guys at the beginning of the game was in the warm-ups for the game, old Pinnaker's doing an interview. He's and I've seen this in the cricket. I've seen it in the cricket. I've seen them in the cricket doing it on the big bat.
They do that during the game. They do it mid-game. Yeah.
I know they do in the game in the cricket. Yes, and I know because I'm about to bowl one up now, and
it's the first time I've Brendan McCullum.
Yes, Brendan McCullum used to. It's the first time I've seen it in football because I haven't watched much A-League before, and it was, and I thought it was great because it took me a while to realise what was going on, and then they zoomed in on his mouth, and he's like, it's going to be a tight game, and he just checked.
You can hear
like
that.
Wow,
what's that foot sound?
It was really cool. I thought, I really liked it. Is that an A-League invented thing, or is that sort of, have you seen this anywhere overseas?
I don't know if I've seen it too many times overseas. I know there was very much an innovation brought in years ago, and I think I messaged it to you in the group. This has been around for ages. Welcome to the A-League.
Where have I been?
No, we generally try to do something pre-game with players, and you get some gold sometimes. I mean, there was one time, a game that I produced, I requested Jason Cummings. So I don't know if you know about him, Mariners striker, the Cum Dog millionaire. He's now playing in India, but absolute cracking character.
Yes,
put the player mark on him. That's going to be fraught with danger because he's Scottish. So
at least you were better understanding.
And the thing is, he did drop an F-bomb live during a player mic chat, but it just sounded so natural. Everyone kind of went, "Did he just?" Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But you do get some valuable insights. Like we've done it on a goalkeeper before while he's in the middle of doing his warm-ups, which is just quite entertaining and quite.
It'd
funny.
Be awesome. Yeah. Goalie. Yeah. It'd be great. Yeah. So jumping down. Get up again. Down again.
Yeah. It's very much you got to pick your right. Pick the right targets because sometimes there have been occasions where you don't get anything, which is look, and that'll happen. But
it's just good behind the scenes. So when you have teams, do you get to put in a pitch for which player you think will be good?
Yeah, we'll obviously plan out what we think storyline wise or what we want to talk about, and then we'll kind of target a player. He might be good because this helps our storyline. And then you just work with the clubs, and for the most part, their players are generally okay with it. Sometimes, like there have been occasions that they'll take them off mid warm up, which kind of throws things, throws the plan out the window. But yeah.
I wonder whether we need Blair Cam before the game next time. From the port. What about from the port? That'd be cool.
Yeah, just wear a GoPro.
Yeah, like I said, before release the port cut.
Yeah, there you go.
Port cam.
I'm surprised there's not a doco being made on you, Blair.
There's a doco being made on the port. So
is there?
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the port boys has got he's got a real nice camera. He's accepting footage as well from the games and whatnot. So
nice,
awesome,
lovely, yeah. And I've kind of thought maybe we should do a live in-person podcast before the Wellington game, from Lily World or something. I mean, that could be fun.
Interesting
or something, and
that'd be fun.
Really, and set up.
Yeah, be trying to because we've got Robbie coming over, for the game. The Wellington.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Matt's going to come down.
Yeah, I'll come down. I have to go.
Have you checked whether you've got to go shopping or something?
Or golf.
Or golf.
Derby day.
I'll check first. Yeah, get the golf out of the way. Get the shopping.
Yeah,
out of the
get the
way.
shopping done. Get the golf done.
Yeah, get all the paint. I don't think I'm painting that day or fencing.
No fences to creosote that day.
It should be okay. Yeah, I'll put the creosote away that day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving him a ticket. You know, I'm getting him to the ground. It's, you know.
No, I'll come down for that for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Yeah.
Get in.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, it's going to be a few weeks before our next game, as we said before. I mean, the other A-League roundup. I did mention it before. There was a high scoring game at Western Sydney Wanderers. 3-4. They lost at home. What was the other pick of the games of this weekend, Robbie? In the A-League victory, got a victory.
Brisbane, Sydney, surely.
Yeah, Brisbane, Sydney.
Yeah.
So I produced the coverage for that one. That was
3-2.
Second half was far more interesting than the first, but
with all the goals in the second half.
What a goal to win it too. Kaczarski, absolute screamer.
Look, and he is such a good talent as well. So if there's one name to remember from Sydney, Jaden Kaczarski is a local kid, come through the academy ranks. He has got this habit. He is very much. Well, I don't want to draw the comparison, but just in terms of a name, he's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He'll come off the bench and score winning goals, and he's done it. He's done it so many times now.
Did he play against us?
Did he come off the bench?
I think he came off the bench.
Yeah, we didn't get a goal.
He's one of those kids who kind of, because there's so many big names in front of him, like
89th minute he came on.
There you go. So he's generally comes on late. He's I think 22, 23 now, so he's kind of getting into that stage where he's got to be thinking, if he's not getting game time, maybe it's worth me moving, because I think he is a starter at any other half decent club. But he's a good young talent. Yeah.
Actually, segueing back,
injury too recently.
They
lost Lolly and then one other, I think it was.
Yeah, they've had a few injuries, Sydney, but they're winning games. Western Sydney Wanderers winning games as well. The high scoring game.
There's a bit of a question mark around the Wanderers. I don't know if you've seen much of the A-League chat, but the rumor mill is that Martha's not happy at the Wanderers, and there's based on what we've seen, they could be in a little bit of trouble.
What's the goss then? What's he not happy about? He's living down there in Sydney.
It's a polite way of putting it. Not a fan of how things are set up coaching wise.
This feels like like a Roy Keane going to Ireland. Unhappy with the pitches, unhappy with the tea.
I had to say that.
You remember that?
Mick
McCarthy, Roy Keane. Yeah. Because I mean, it's a good point. Like he would be used to top level. His whole career in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Step down.
So if anyone's watching on YouTube, Gergis's comment, yes, agree. That's exactly what it is. I won't repeat it.
I've got the comments open.
I haven't got it either. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah. So do we think he might shoot off?
I don't know. Look, it's very early in the season. Look, he came in relatively late. He's only played 10 minutes before the prior of the season in like a year and a half. So he's still coming to grips with getting back to match fitness, fitting in with the new team, new coach.
He's not really a character to sort of kick up a big fuss and
exactly.
He'll persevere and he'll expect a coach change or whatever. But if
he's not a volatile personality, no.
Yeah, he'll make his way out. If he's on a 1-year deal, he'll just make his way out quietly and
Is he playing all the games though, or is he getting subbed on or off? Is he?
He's building up minutes, but he got subbed off at halftime against Adelaide when the damage was kind of already done. And it's a hard one, but I think there's a little bit of work that's needed between players and club and coaching.
Yeah. Here's a question: Can A-League teams bring in players through the season, or is there like a cut-off transfer?
The January transfer window.
Yeah,
free agents can be registered whenever as well.
Free agents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's closed now we can't
Yeah.
bring anyone.
The window
in
is
till
closed, but if there's a player that's unattached, I'm pretty sure that they can come straight in. Yeah.
You can sign them. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's how the UK works.
Yeah. Yeah. I play a lot of Football Manager at the moment, so like, I bring a lot of free transfers in. I'll strap the squad.
Taking a gamble. He looks all right.
I'm taking Swansea into Europe at the moment.
Don't worry. I beat out Ange Postecoglou with an Auckland FC save. 41 games unbeaten.
Wow.
23-3-0.
I'm loving this.
Wow.
How do you get to do Auckland FC? Do you have to bring in some sort of save?
I downloaded Asian expansion database that added Auckland FC.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Dedication. Like it.
Nice. Well, back to Auckland FC. Tell me about this grand final. Like it feels like a long way down the track, and there's a lot of games between now and then. But like, do we feel like we're on target to even just get in these playoff places and have a go at this?
100%. I think as of right now, one of the title favourites. Like as of right now, it's probably us, Sydney, and Melbourne Victory that are sort of eyeing up the number one spot. And yeah,
what are we down? What are we down to? We were 16-1 a few weeks ago. What are we down to? Shorter odds now.
Good question.
It's a good question, eh?
Got to be at least half of that.
Who's quick on the buttons?
Yeah, who bets a lot? who's got the betting apps open all the time?
Not me.
No, neither.
Unless it's cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I don't really do that. Yeah.
Although I will say, I think we all missed a trick not getting the Melbourne Cup winner right.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that.
My case in particular. So we finished work early, went out to a club in Manly. It was hosted at Auckland House. The winning horse, and the jockey's name was Robbie. And I didn't even see the signs. Just filthy.
Emptied your bank account out and got in the
close to retiring.
Yeah.
Well, I only had $5 left in my account, so
it was
yeah.
It was a long shot though, wasn't it? It was like 60 odd to 1 or something. I was reading
101 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a few of the $100 on it down, and they saw the signs.
Yeah, nice. So the grand final, like, where is it? Like, is it always at one place?
It's hosted by the highest placing team, so that makes it to the final. So if you end up with like 3rd and 5th in the final, then 3rd place hosts.
Yeah, okay.
But what about the actual grand I see. So the grand final is you get a home game if you finished higher. And
there's no like Wembley-esque stadium,
right? So it could be at Mount. The grand final could be at Mount Smart Stadium.
In theory,
it looked like it was going to be for a while.
Yeah, they did try. There was a deal with the New South Wales government to host grand finals in Sydney, which blew up spectacularly.
Yeah,
because the fans just did not want to borrow that. That was Central Coast's first of their the first of their back-to-back titles. They had to play Melbourne City at the Wanderers' home ground, Combank Stadium. Then sanity prevailed, and the very next season, Central Coast won the rights to host the grand final at Gosford, which is a small ground. Generally, they'll look to play. The rule was previously that if it was a smaller club that won through and one was the higher ranked team, it would go to the bigger venue. Like Central Coast played at the old Sydney Football Stadium one year, I think it was. So the fact that the APL kind of went, they got the right, they earned the right.
Yeah.
And Gosford, and it turned on one of the greatest occasions, I think one of the greatest grand finals. And I don't know if you all saw at the very end at full time the pitch invasion.
Yeah.
That's one of the most enduring pictures of the A-League. I think that will go down in history. That was a magical night. So it could conceivably be held in New Zealand, Wellington or Auckland. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Wow. Yeah. What a story it would be. What a story it would
be. That'd be pretty cool.
Long way to go, though.
Auckland is paying $8.50 on Sportsbet here in Australia. Gergis, if there's an award for most comments, I think it goes to Gergis tonight. He's done about a dozen.
Yeah.
Good on you,
Auckland
Gergis.
paying $9 to win the grand final. And to answer one of your previous questions, Nando is 9 out of 10 in aerial duels. So he has lost one, but he's at 90%, which is one of the highest in the league.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
There
He is solid. Him and Dan Hall are solid. I mean, that's like we've said. That's building from the back. Solid ads. We don't look like conceding goals. Wow. So our odds have been slashed in half since last time I looked. We were 16 to 1. Now $8 or $9 to 1. Incredible. A couple of teams ahead of us. Probably still Sydney, Melbourne Victory. They'd still be the favourites at this stage.
I think so. Yeah. Just based purely on squad talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably
It's
the
hard to
biggest
tell
threats
this
at
point
this
of the
stage, but
season.
it's
Mariners lost their first 4 on the trot last season, wasn't it? And finished first.
And
so yeah, you can't
people
really
were calling
off
for
just yet.
the coach's head after that first month. But geez, tune changed pretty quickly.
So we're saying Perth of the title then?
Perth of the title.
I'll just
I'm joking.
When do we play Perth? I'm looking forward to playing Perth.
Yeah. Get them up.
Yeah.
So we got to buy this weekend. What are you going to do with your time, Blair? Have you got any other hobbies?
Yeah.
Is it long now? Is it? It's been neglected.
No, I did it the weekend before I flew off to Wellington because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it after that. So yeah, I'll probably get out and do something like that. I did some drainage out back, so I'll chuck some topsoil on there, and yeah.
Love that.
You're such an adult, Blair. Jeez.
Cheers.
Because when's the trip to Sydney? There's a Unite round, isn't there? Is that next year or late this year?
No, Unite round is the MacArthur game, but the Port of Call, which is where the game they're basically the Port are aiming to send a large group of fans to. In April 12th versus Sydney. Yeah,
that'd be fun. That'd be fun to get over to.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, the Port they're trying to get like a whole package together. So like flights and hotels and all that together, and
Have we figured out who's running this Port yet? Is it just a couple of people, or is it just heaps?
Or is it the
club itself?
Is it the club itself?
Eddie Gower?
Did we get anywhere with that? Like, I think I think Ethan from the Phoenix fan group, he reckons Paddy's got a bit mixed up there. Well, we'll have him on the show. Hopefully, he'll be able to tell us his sources.
Yeah. But, speaking of the Port, it seems sold out for the derby. So yeah.
Oh, wow. This far out. That's awesome.
Yeah, like that, or then maybe they're withholding some tickets for Port members or something, or I don't know. Yeah, but it's not available on Ticketmaster anymore. So yeah,
you'll be able to get us in though, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Sounds like a you problem, mate. I got a season ticket.
New Zealand icon Blair. Of course,
use your connections, mate. Your TV connections.
I plan to, but yeah.
Is it because we were 24,000 for the first game? Can you get many more in there, Mount Smart? Would it go up to like 30 or?
I think sort of like 25 is sort of pretty much.
So not many more than we had first game.
No.
Yeah, 24. That was like borderline complete sellout.
Yeah. Because I always think that back bank there is weird because like you could get loads on there, but how would you?
You'd have to take the slide down though. Do you want to?
Don't take the slide down.
I could see them doing like temp seating or something for if we make the final, or squeeze out a few thousand, and
max it out.
Long way to go. Long way to go.
Yeah,
long way to go. Well, awesome. Hey, I think we'll wrap up. But yeah, like we'll have a week off next week from the show.
And international break. Any of you boys going to the All Whites games?
No, not going to the All Whites. Are you going, Blair?
I'll try to get to the Friday one in Hamilton and see what I'm doing Monday night. And
Ooh, Friday night in Hamilton.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Careful.
That's an underrated night out. I will be honest.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. Don't worry.
With your newfound fame as well, could be a good one.
I could just say, but don't you know who I am? Let me in.
All good, guys. All right. Well, have a great weekend. And yeah, we will enjoy the week off. And we'll get back into it before the MacArthur game. Enjoy a footballless weekend. Although of course the Premier League carries on. in
Yeah,
England,
A-League
which
still
is lovely.
continues.
well,
you can
mate.
feel free to watch the A-League, guys.
I might do.
Yeah.
Are Wellington playing? I might watch Wellington.
Yeah, you can watch the Phoenix. Yeah.
Actually, I'll pull
There-
it up. I'll pull it up.
They're away to Central Coast Mariners.
The way
There
to
you go,
Central
Darren.
Coast.
So they
Cool.
go to
That'll be a
Gosford
good one.
in front of
Is
the
that a
Source
Saturday?
Models.
Saturday or
Yeah.
Sunday?
Yeah, what time's that?
Sunday at 4 o'clock Australian time. So that'll
Perfect.
be 6
Oh,
p.m.
6
your
p.m.
time.
Perfect.
That's all right.
I'm
Victory
loving
Roar
these
as well. Saturday at 7.
kickoff times.
They're good times,
good
aren't
one.
they? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, good
for you and I, Matt, we're like, wow, this is amazing. Like, it's the
Yeah,
middle of the
yeah.
day. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
watching
brilliant.
football.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty good.
yeah. It's
Oh,
weird,
Mike.
but cool.
Waking up in
Yeah.
the morning. Oh, it was, yeah.
Well,
But you know what?
I,
I'll even set up a tipping comp for us four. I know we're 4 rounds in, but I'll set up a tipping comp
Hell
just
yeah.
to kind of see how you guys
Yeah.
actually watch the
I need-
games.
yeah, I want to up my knowledge level. You know, I want to up my
Yeah,
knowledge.
we're
go.
quite bad at the moment, aren't we? Yeah, we're just
Leave it with me.
Yeah.
I'll set something up.
You do
We'll
it,
You get
review
a,
it.
I'll get a I'll start a fantasy league too.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll-
I'm into all that.
I'm ready to crush you fellas.
I'm into all of it.
Can you pick 11 DeVrieses? Can you just go 1 to 11 DeVries?
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. A team.
I'll-
I dream of
I'll
a team.
have
DeVries.
Paulson as well. He's good. I'll have him. You know, he's not
Yeah,
any
yeah, I
good
might
reason.
like- You might like him.
Auckland FC players have been scoring real well. They've been doing bits for me this so far.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, six Auckland players in the All White squad as well with Liam Gillian. We were going to mention him. He's got his
Hey,
first
Congrats
call
to
up.
him, by the way. Well
Yeah,
deserved.
congrats to
Yeah.
him.
Earned it.
Get on, Liam.
Love the story. You know, he's come from lower league football in New Zealand. He's getting into
Former
it.
Knicks Academy player too.
Mm.
Yeah, it's great. Good stuff. All right, guys, thank you very much. And thank you for watching out there. And make sure you give us a like or subscribe. We're up to 99 subscribers on YouTube. I want to get over to 100.
Are we doing anything for the 100th? We're giving Blaze Hathaway something?
Dale's going to give them $100 for the 100th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Howard's
Oh.
coming. Party down in
Yeah.
Huntley, potentially at Blair's. Be amazing. Look forward to it.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks to Blair, Matt, and Robbie for coming. It's been a joy, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time. Over and out.
Up the port.
Up the port.